Welcome everybody. We are down here in Tucson, Arizona for, you guessed it, a Shimano MTB Media Camp. This media camp is dedicated to their all-new range of XTR components. That's wheels, brakes, and yes, electronic drivetrain. Let's get into it. Oh my God. Definitely makes a difference. Very natural, elbows out. So to kick things off, let's go ahead and dive into some of the details on the all-new XTR Di2 wireless derailleur. Let's talk this new derailleur. Obviously, it is electronic, it is wireless.
Yeah.
But that is not the only big change to the derailleur itself.
Well, I think it was clear that over the last couple of years of riding aggressively that we could use derailleurs that were tougher and could survive real world trail riding conditions, right? I think kind of where we started from an engineering point of view was that the most likely part of the derailleur to take a hit is the front surface facing area of where the clutch sits on the derailleur. So we wanted to make that as slim as possible, really like apply that shadow concept to the stabilizer unit. So it's a totally different mechanism inside of there, and it can be a really thick, sturdy material too, because that's the other part of it, is that the most likely part of the derailleur to cause a failure if it gets hit is the clutch, because things have to get really thin in order to fit the clutch.
Got it.
So we're going with a simpler mechanism. It's basically just a strong spring, but it applies that same clutch tension or really close to it 100% of the time. So in a lot of conditions, it's quieter, but it generally applies more chain wrap, so the chain is more engaged with the cassette. Our shifting gets better, our chain drop chances go way down. Lots of good benefits from it.
But it's not adjustable, correct?
It's not adjustable. There's no need for it to be adjustable. Sure. And so the nice thing about that is, I think a lot of us have experienced that your very first ride on a brand new derailleur is really quiet, and then you're kind of chasing that every ride after that. Yeah. This one is gonna sound exactly the same on the first ride and the 1000th ride. Like, it's totally consistent.
The pulley wheel is also new.
The pulley wheels, yep, we made solid pulley wheels. Okay. And we also covered the teeth of the bottom pulley wheel with the cage itself, so that sticks just won't get pulled into the pulley wheel by the chain, like it'll bounce off the cage. And if a stick happened to find the center of the pulley wheel, it can't go anywhere because the pulley wheel is just solid. Just a smart, simple, cheap solution.
Oh. So what I can say is, so far, being able to quick shift for some of these punchy climbs, it's been very pleasurable. Here's a good scenario: coming around a tight corner and you're gassed and you want to double click up, big push on the shifter, double shift, right back to easy. I'm gonna throw a question at you. Weight wise, do you know the difference between the old mechanical XTR and this electronic XTR? I'll put the weights up here, but was that a big goal? Was there a weight goal in mind when creating this product?
Overall, we wanted to, of course, make sure, especially for cross-country racing, that we weren't taking a weight penalty. And I think in the balance of where we dropped weight and where we picked up weight, so obviously the derailleur gets heavier because it got stronger, but we dropped weight in other places, and we don't have our final weight numbers today.
They'll be up on screen. We are how many months and months and months ahead of launch? So.
4 months ahead of the launch right now. We're relying on the tried and true universal derailleur hanger. Engineers felt like it was a crucial part of bike design. If you're looking at real world survivability, that free rotation around where the derailleur mounts to the hanger is a crucial part of it.
Sure.
And the one thing that they really stuck to was that it's important for being able to take an impact, and it's nice that it can spring back on its own so that the rider basically doesn't even notice when they've hit a rock and the derailleur got moved backwards. But the other one is that sometimes you come down on top of rocks, and the derailleur needs a way to be able to move in other directions. And so you're sacrificing the hanger at that point, but those are the real derailleur destroying situations. And it's where the hanger just absolutely is crucial. There's no better answer to it right now.
With all the undulation here, it's been a lot of last minute shifts, a lot of shifts under really, really high load, and I've yet to experience a major skip. Definitely been when I was trying to go from like 7th to 2nd real fast. Ooh, cactus. Definitely had some noise, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was still smooth, and the power transfer hasn't lacked.
So paired with the derailleur, there is also an all-new shifter. This shifter is definitely one of the most unique shifters I have ever put my thumb on. For me, one of the coolest features is the ability to adjust the paddles, and those paddles are actually operated by a spring-driven cam system. So let's learn a little bit more about this all-new shifter. So the shifter itself is super unique. It is like nothing I have felt, especially the adjustability. Did you start the project knowing you wanted the paddles to be able to be adjusted?
Yes, I know I couldn't get 100% point for the all of riders because they have original style. So that's why I add the adjustable mechanism.
And is that something that you led the charge on? Yeah,
Yep.
Cool. And how does it actually work? What allows it to move like that and still retain one click, and then there is a full click and hold?
Yeah.
What actually operates the paddle?
Yeah, difference between the one click and the second click is we designed to the cam.
And was there a lot of testing to see how heavy the spring should be?
Yes, that is a toughest job.
Getting out on the first pedal, thing that I immediately noticed was that the shifter lever position is very, very similar to your standard mechanical XTR setup. The lever throw is easy to click through a single gear or a multi-shift. If you do rest your thumb on the upshift, you can get some phantom shifts. Just doesn't take much pressure at all to actually get the shifter to initiate shifts. Gonna say shifting a lot during this shifting video. Oh, survived the first technical climb. Upshifts and downshifts under load, super smooth. There we go, pedal. Let's go easier. Oh yeah, full loaded shifts.
And it still has, it feels like a Shimano, even though it's totally new.
Yeah.
And was keeping the traditional feel of the system really important in the design process?
Yeah, the quick force, similar to mechanical, but also the layout of a part. I designed the similar to mechanical shifting lever because I eliminate the relearning process.
Yeah. In the tuning of the system, you can tune how fast, if you click and hold, it drops down, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
There's a button on the front of the shifter that is reprogrammable, correct?
Yes.
So you can control your Garmin and all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
And is that also used to change any alignment with the shifting?
Yes.
Cool, perfect. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, perfect. When it comes to the brakes, there are a few key new features that really set this new XTR brake apart from its previous generation. As a rider, I believe one of the most impactful things about this new brake is the lever actually has 5 degrees of upsweep, which really gives you a natural feeling pull when you're charging hard, elbows out, and ready to attack. Additionally, one of the big changes in the lever body is actually a push-pull master cylinder. A few changes have also happened at the caliper end. The piston material has changed from a composite to a resin material, and inside the lines, there's an all-new, really high viscosity fluid to help keep that wandering bite plate from happening. Additionally, the pads have actually been increased in size to help keep rattling at bay. Let's hear from the team on some more details about these brakes. Can you kind of run us through some of the main changes that have happened on the lever side?
So there's a completely new redesigned master cylinder, improved ergonomics. It's really improved for just making all the touch points on the bike a little bit more comfortable and more natural in the hand. So lever blades get upswept 5 degrees, as well as we move the pivot point back 5 millimeters for where that lever blade attaches. And what that does is the old design, there's kind of an arc as you pull the lever closer to the bar. And when your elbows are out, it kind of pulls the lever away from you. So this new design has a much more linear feel in the hand. It pulls a lot straighter towards the bar.
And they still have free stroke, still have lever adjustment and depth on pull.
Yeah, so there's a new lever adjustment or fine adjustment. It's got about double the points of engagement. Master cylinder is now a pull master cylinder, and that has been adapted from the road drop bar components that's been used there. And what that allowed for was to have a little bit cleaner hose routing, and then let us move that pivot point on the lever blade back 5 millimeters.
First little descent, feeling out the brakes. The updated lever pull angle definitely makes a difference. Very natural, elbows out.
What has changed with this new XTR caliper?
It was a lot of tuning the stiffness of the caliper. That was one of the big focuses this time around. We had a test camp just to focus on tuning the caliper stiffness and getting the right feel out of the brake. Some people, when they test ride the brake for the first time, they ask how much more power it's got. If you ask one of our engineers, the answer is that it's got the same amount of power, because calculated based on like piston diameter differences, it's the same as what it was before. But in combination with improving efficiencies at the brake lever and the stiffness of the caliper, we're basically just getting more juice for that squeeze.
And there's some pretty specific internal changes that have happened on the caliper as well, correct?
It's using a new high performance, low viscosity fluid. So the big important thing there is that there's a new seal that goes with that new fluid. If you're gonna change the viscosity of your fluid, you need to have a different rebound speed for your piston seals. And so it's a new rubber material that we're working with that's got really good rebound consistency and has the right speed that matches the fluid.
And new piston material as well, correct?
Yeah, it's a resin piston material. It's a nice balance point of blocking heat to get it from moving from obviously the pad to inside the fluid where it causes more harm, and resin is a little bit more user friendly. You get a chance to kind of revisit your piston material anytime you're choosing a new seal, because those really need to interact in a very consistent way as well.
And all these changes that have happened have been focused on addressing a wandering bite point?
That's really the aim behind the new high performance fluid is that you need something that can flow quickly and consistently in all kinds of conditions, if it's really hot or really cold out. And so that's always a 1-2 punch, fluid and seals working together.
Well, riding in the desert is always a fun learning experience, especially when trying out some new product for the first time. I just wanted to take a moment to go over some of the products I didn't speak about out on that ride. That is the new XTR Wheelset, as well as the cranks. And I'll go ahead and dive into some of the pricing and weights on each of these products as well. When it comes to the wheels, there are 2 separate product lines available. One is a XC focused wheel set, while the other that we have is the more trail and enduro focused wheel set. The trail and enduro spec wheels weigh in at 1,791 grams and are only offered in a full 29-inch option at this time. They come in at 30 millimeters wide with a 28-hole J-bend spoke pattern. Wall thickness on these land in at just 4 millimeters. The hubs are 7 grams lighter than the previous version and offer 3.5 degrees of engagement. In these hubs, the bearings have been updated from the traditional cup and ball offering to an industrial strength cartridge bearing. This offers a better sealing and longer lifespan. Additionally, the hubs are only offered with a center lock rotor option. Pricing on these lands in at $1,715. So just like with the wheels, the cranks are offered in 2 variant options, one for the XC riders and one for the trail and enduro riders. These cranks are built on the proven Hollow Tech 2 platform with a 176 millimeter Q factor and 55 mil chain line. They are offered in lengths from 160 mil to up to 175 in 5 millimeter increments. Our 175 millimeter version weighs in at 536 grams. Pricing comes in at $310 for each crankset. Just note this is not optioned with the chainring. One last thing to touch on here is the new Hyperglide Plus cassette. This is offered in a 1051 or a 945 tooth variant. The optimized tooth profiles help shifting under heavy load, keeping them running longer without damage in high torque scenarios. They have strengthened the interface between the carrier and the cogs and the base of the teeth, which is where most of failures happen. The first 3 cogs are aluminum, next 5 are titanium, with the remainder being steel. One of the big claims here from Shimano is that the surface treatment has been updated
to allow for longer wear life and less discoloration on the aluminum cogs. This new cassette lands in at 365 grams. Well folks, thank you so much for tuning in to this very long and drawn out launch video for all the new XTR stuff. There was a ton of stuff to cover. There's plenty of things I have not mentioned that are in the article on the loamwolf.com where I dive into more detail about each of these products individually. I will be breaking these down in long-term reviews, individually, standalone videos, very focused on more ride impressions and how they have performed out on the trail. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. I have tons of ride time on this stuff and I'm happy to share my experience. If there is anything I didn't cover you are wondering about, go ahead and ask away. If I don't have the answer, I will reach out to Shimano and get a real answer from them. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so as it really helps us bring videos like this to you. And if you're looking to support even further, go ahead and check us out on Buy Me a Coffee, join our paid members platform, have the chance to possibly review new unreleased products like this, or even join us at one of our shootouts like Leonard recently has. Stay tuned for those videos. It is going to be a good time. Until next time, we will see you out on the trails.